Hi, it's Monahan here, and I am in a cab heading to New York City right now. Well, I guess I'm heading to Manhattan from the airport, very early in the morning. And you can see everything going around inside of me, so I thought we'd do a close reading of From Catcher in the Rye, Chapter 12, where Holden is driving around, talking to his cab driver. So I'm going to read along with me. I'll put the link in there, and here we go. The cab I had was a real old one that smelled like someone had tossed his cookies in it. I always get those vomity kind of cabs if I go anywhere late at night. What made it worse was it was so quiet and lonesome out, even though it was Saturday night. I didn't hardly see anybody on the street. Now and then, you saw a man and a girl crossing the street with their arms around each other, waists and all, or a bunch of hoodlummy-looking guys and their dates, all of them laughing like hyenas, or at something you could bet wasn't funny. Okay, so that's just the very beginning. But all of a sudden, we know that he's there, and what we notice in life tells a lot about us. So whenever you're looking at what a character's noticing, he could be noticing so many things. He could be noticing how beautiful water reflects. He could be noticing how many stars there are in the sky, but he's not noticing any of those things. He's noticing how there's no one out, and that makes him feel lonely. But he's projecting his own loneliness there. And so when we look at setting and how a character describes a setting, we're looking at how he sees the world at that moment. It can change, but it's more of his internal self usually being reflected here. And when you describe something, maybe it's a little bit of you in there as well. So anyway, he's talking to this cab driver in a second, but before that we get the stage of he's lonely, and we know that because that's how he's describing things. And so, anyway, we're going to skip a little bit. We get to the cab driver. His name was Horowitz. He was a much better guy than the other driver I'd had. Anyway, I thought maybe he might know about the ducks. Hey, Horowitz, I said, you ever pass by the lagoon in Central Park? Down by Central Park South? The what? The lagoon, the little lake there, where the ducks are, you know? Yeah, what about it? Well, you know, the ducks that swim around in it in the springtime and all. Do you happen to know where they go in the wintertime by any chance? Or who goes? The ducks. Do you know by any chance? I mean, does somebody come around in a truck or something and take them all away? Or do they fly away by themselves, go south or something? Old Horowitz turned all the way around and looked at me. He was a very impatient type guy. He wasn't a bad guy, though. How the heck should I know, he said. How the heck should I know a stupid thing like that? Well, don't get sore about it, I said. He was sore about it or something. Who's sore? Nobody's sore. Okay, so Holden wants to know where the ducks go in the wintertime. Now, we know that whenever we see cold, it's not just the weather, it's a metaphorical state for like how things are. It can be a dark time, it can be a time of pain. And so, where do the ducks go when things freeze over, when it gets cold? Where do the ducks go when they leave here? And I think life is hard for him right then. So when it is a hard time in his life, where do you go when things get hard? He keeps asking people. He's asking cab drivers. He's asking anyone to help him. And so here he is trying to figure it out. And the cab driver up against that gets upset by it. He doesn't understand. And I think that a lot of the time that's how it is. We have these conversations in life, and we don't necessarily really understand or hear what we're saying. That's one of the burdens of language, is that it's really hard to get what's inside of you into someone else. It's really hard to express like sadness, anger, or questioning. So when Holden's asking where the ducks go, he's not really asking where the ducks go. And if Horowitz understands that, he's upset by it. He doesn't love it. He doesn't know either. So either Horowitz is just annoyed, or he gets what Holden's saying. Where do I go when times get hard? But like many adults, they don't always have it figured out. So where they're sitting there in this conversation where they don't know, and they're both just going along. They keep moving. They're always moving in life. The cab is moving. I'm moving right now. It's probably been disorienting for you. You can see everything happening, and we all just keep moving, even when we don't know where the ducks go in the wintertime, even when we don't know all the answers. So, lessons for today. Look at the setting. It tells you so much about what's going on. Either it's going to foreshadow something, or it's going to tell you what's happening inside a person's self, or it's going to set a stage, set a tone, backdrop. In this case, it was Holden, his he described the setting in a way that showed us who he was, what his emotional state was, and yeah, and everything symbolic in this book because it's absolutely wonderful. And here's a little more view of the cab, in case you were wondering what a New York cab looks like. Very exciting, and I will see you next time. Bye.